One of my favorite days of the year is the day we get to announce the We Love Tech Awards with Evan Kirstel, the tech fluencer. So welcome, Evan, and congratulations on the second inaugural awards program.
The second inaugural, hopefully one of many, many more. And it's just been such a cool experience working with you and all the innovators, not just big brands, but startups and disruptors and under the radar innovation that finally get a shot at Spotlight.
Well, it is such a broad mix of people that we get to see, and it's people don't realize how much fun it is. You get to see all these new techs, kind of understand kind of how and why people are doing things by running these awards programs. And boy, did we hit the jackpot on this one this year. We really had some amazing winners and amazing nominations come in. If anybody doesn't remember, we run this program every year with the WeLoveTechAwards.com. This is Evan's award show. Really, enterprise tech is what we focus on, the gadgets too, but really those technologies that are really winning in enterprise and in consumer lives. And so these aren't kind of smoke and mirrors products. These are real products and real people, and that's what I really love about this program.
Yeah, and AI is everywhere right now and for very good reasons, but the awards cover way more than AI. We get into cloud, we get into CX, cybersecurity, the Internet of Things, telecom use cases, SaaS, really practical use cases for the enterprise beyond the fluff and some of the AI hype that's out there.
Yeah. Now, so we have three different award categories. We go through individual winners, so individuals that are out there making, all that they can with AI, and we've got some amazing stories in that category. We also do organizations, so companies as a whole who are really embracing technology, bringing new technology to life, and then all the really cool products. And this is the one I always love. I know you've got a lot of friends in this category, a lot of kind of homegrown names that we know of, but really some just amazing nominations. What are you seeing from kind of the trend perspective in 2026? I kind of claimed this was going to be the year of the chief AI officer. I haven't seen that term too much, but I definitely know that a lot of CTOs and CIOs are working in that regard now. What are you seeing out there?
What's interesting, of course, AI use cases and applications, cloud, SaaS categories dominate right now. I think cybersecurity is being heavily invested in, and there's new tools for threat protection and also customer experience. Reinventing, traditional customer service paradigms is huge right now. And the best enterprise innovation is really about saving customers millions of dollars and thousands of hours of work and making them more productive and helpful in enterprise environments, and I think we're seeing just tons of those kind of use cases.
Yeah, we absolutely are. And, this kind of leads perfectly into our first winner in our individual category. This is a company that you wouldn't expect to necessarily be on the kind of forefront. This type of company, these consulting agencies, are sometimes a little bit of slow adopters. They will enable stuff for everybody, but not usually on the cutting edge. But E&Y this year, Ernst& and Young, E&Y, and Mary Elizabeth Poiret, she has won for the highest overall individual winner in the We Love Tech Awards. And she is the one responsible for building the entire E&Y kind of AI platform. And it's really astounding what she's done. There's, I think, 10,000 agents deployed for customers with, three nines of availability and, over 100 million prompts already launched. So this is just an incredible story of a transformation that, is at such a scale. I mean, we're talking about just an enormous organization
I
here.
love that. And one thing I like about the awards and is I don't pick the winners, although I appreciate so many of them. The judging panels, I mean, they're from real operators in the industry, from companies like Amazon and Google and Adobe and AWS and Visa and on and on, right? The judges, they're not just sort of marketing fluff committees. They're real practitioners and technologists and geeks like ourselves. So I think it is really a validation.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one, Mary Elizabeth Poiret, that she is the global vice chair of client technology and E&Y's global growth and innovation COO. Whew, that's a title. But it really just understands, to me is somebody's got to kind of grab that ball and take in an organization kind of in that CAIO role and really kind of lead the organization through. And she is clearly doing an incredible job here, embedding AI into real work all over the organization and for clients. So, applause to her and congratulations on all the success, Mary Elizabeth Foray.
Yeah, and I love that it really takes the organization like Ernst and Young, it takes products that are built and it takes individuals. I think that's what's interesting about the awards. Innovation takes all three of those working together in concert.
Yes, absolutely. Now, organizations as a whole is another big focus for us. Of kind of who are these companies? Who are the
Mm.
agencies and institutions that are really kind of defining how these technologies kind of come to life and how they really play out day over day. And again, our judges were very clear in this one. This was A1QA. They are the AI powered quality assurance. And in a time when we are now diving headfirst into AI and clicking that allow all button on Claude because we don't know what we're doing, these customer assurance and quality assurance teams are really going to be huge in this new AI native world. I'm sure, Evan, you're seeing a lot of this in your own flows of stuff can go wrong very very quickly, and program and a company like A1QA is really kind of leading the charge out.
Yeah, it really is about trust and delivering product services solutions that can be trusted, which is super important in the enterprise. I think that's a thread of quite a few of the winners, whether it's Saira and AI trust for customer experience and validation, whether it's Clearcom and chatbot testing, make sure these bots are actually not going off the reservation and enabling true support and integration with reliable data for customer service and customer experience use cases. I mean, trust is really part of the value of a lot of these what these companies are building.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this company is, a lot of times what I'm seeing now are AI companies, narrowly focused in a specific vertical, and they're trying to solve that one kind of annoying problem inside of a very kind of niche product, which is great. I fully applaud those types of application. A1QA takes a really broader approach to this. They're out in almost all of these kind of engineering deployments across telecom and healthcare. I think they even mentioned they were in the gaming space, and they're really working to cut all those hours out of kind of all the manual checking that teams used to do. But what I really liked about it, and we were talking about this earlier, is kind of that human experience too. They've got over 1,000 quality engineers and specialists out there.
Mm.
And so that's actually not just, there's that human in the loop. There's AI safe, but stable and accountable. So these enterprises can really kind of launch stuff at the speed they really want to, which is, kind of what this whole AI revolution's about.
And measurable impact, real ROI. That's been a big question over the industry on the consumer side. But from a B2B standpoint, you really have to demonstrate and prove the value, the ROI, and the impact. And all of these nominees are really showing measurable impact.
Yeah, I know there are a couple other, winners we'll maybe mention here in a second, but a couple other organizations leading the charge out there. But before we do that, I do want to get back into the products and the product winners. And Uh, this is a familiar name. E&Y won this category as well. And again, Evan and I don't pick these winners. E&Y did not pay us for this. This is all independently judged. We're happy to share with you all of the judges on the website. You can see exactly who scored these nominations. They raise their hands, they volunteer, and so we don't pick them. But EYAI, the Ernst& Young AI, they call it EYQ, is their ecosystem for Gen AI and all these agentic capabilities. And this is for their everyday users. So their teams internally are using this tool, and it's, they spun it up from launch to concept delivery in just 4 weeks. And that is not a small thing to go out to an audience as big as E&Y's. And I think they've got 300,000 people. So this is real enterprise scale that we're talking about. And, the amount of facilitation between all of those people has just got to be astounding with the complexity.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, I'm using 3, 4 different agents right now. I was just touting all of the benefits for my small business, my solo. I'm really a solo practitioner. I can't imagine the challenges within a large enterprise distributed, with all kinds of security and compliance requirements. And they did it. And it's probably saving, thousands of hours of work and gosh knows how many millions and millions of dollars and the productivity off the charts. So what a great template for their customers and other enterprises.
Yeah, and I love that this is, homegrown, internally adopted. I think they touted something over 80% adoption internally. They're pushing, 50,000 agents in development and deployments.
Wow.
And so, I mean, this is heavy scale AI with millions and millions of tokens processed. And maybe that's going to be the new kind of our measure, is how many tokens did we process in a year? Maybe that's our level of productivity that CIOs and
I hope not,
CTOs.
because I'm spending too much on tokens as it is. So let's see if there's another metric. My credit card only goes so far far as buying tokens, but enterprises need to be more efficient and effective. They'll find new ways to, consume and deploy tokens. I think token maxing is the new thing. So who knows? Maybe we'll have some award winners next year around cost effective utilization of AI in the enterprise.
Well, yeah, and yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think that's got to be the next one. We'll see a massive influx of, the cost specialists. These guys really did it, very, very quickly, rolling out to 300,000 EY people. But, if you think about the complexity of it, you've got massive governance constraints with these consulting agencies of protecting client data, especially in these regulated industries. So everybody's got to have identity protection and data protection, and just the sheer complexity of all is astounding. So, congratulations to Pablo Sabero from E&Y's global head of technology platforms and client technology. This is a huge win for that team. EY AI, it's out there for your team. So get a piece if you work there. Let me just go back a little bit too. There's a couple other winners that I wanted to mention. I know you've got a few on your record book too, Evan. The ones I always like, I do love to see these organizations that are really kind of leading the charge in these technology areas. And it really doesn't come down to technology. To me, it comes down to, that product market fit. As a marketer in my world, it was, how can I make my product do exactly what that customer wants? And it's the customer I'm thinking about. Two that really stand out to me are Daily Pay and Lawmatics from the organization categories. I've seen their work before. Daily Pay, it's like, it's a no-brainer, right? It's right in their name. It's paying people every day because that's what people now expect. And, gone are the days, Evan, where, it's 2 weeks or 4 weeks between pay cycles. The technology is there, the banking platforms are there, and Daily Pay is rolling this stuff out and making a great run of it. So congratulations to them. And the other one in that space is Lawmatics, very similar. They're very SaaS kind of UCaaS product for the legal industry. This is one of those ones where you do have that specialized AI because you were talking about a very highly specialized group. It's not a broad consumer base. It has to be rock solid. And Lawmatics is definitely winning in the organization space, leading the lawyers through the charge. We know a lot of them are kind of like you and I, the solopreneurs, and they've got to have something they can trust and really rely on, and that's going to save them money, make them more efficient. And Lawmatics is definitely the one I'd love to call out. How about you? What'd you see in there?
Yeah, so many. And I agree. It's really important for these solutions to go deep with vertical expertise, generating value for those verticals, and also having AI models that are targeted towards those industries that maybe smaller models that enable practitioners, whether it's a dentist or in healthcare, whether you're a lawyer, you have the right kind of tools at your disposal. You're not just putting your data out to ChatGPT or to Claude in a sort of generic way. But yeah, so many product winners from Saira and Clearcom uh, who continue to do great work validating the whole new customer experience environment that's being created with bots and replacing the old legacy IVRs with much more intelligent digital humans, digital workers in a smart way for customer service. Companies like Optury for cybersecurity and so many threats. Also created by AI tools that we now have the good guys leveraging AI to fight the bad guys. So companies are really investing in this sort of area. ProtectStar for mobile apps. Mobile's often a sort of undefended endpoint, particularly for small businesses like ourselves. And so there's some great tools there. And even Ravenstar, the wireless industry is, kind of doubling every few years, and we need new modes of wireless connectivity, whether it's at home or on the go. And they have an amazing MIMO massive radio unit that 10x's capacity over traditional architectures. So much is being reinvented, not just with the apps and the tools and devices, but in the core of the network, at the edge of the network, and all of these companies. It's sort of almost sort of invisible innovation, at least invisible to many of us as consumers or businesses, but it's fundamentally important to rolling out all of these new AI services and beyond. And so, a lot of the benefits of this program is sort of the underrated, invisible players that may not typically, you may not see them in, the mainstream media or the Wall Street Journal, but they're just doing important work. And I think the recognition programs focuses on those kind of builders too. They don't necessarily have a product that you and I would recognize as a consumer, but, often the best enterprise innovation might be a little boring at first glance until you see the benefits and the impact it has on users and networks and security and safety and capacity and savings and capex and network expenses and all these things that keep the economy humming. So really great work.
Yeah. Now the awards this year were really had a tough time picking winners. There were a lot of races that were very, very close. We did, like I said, we had over 400 judges volunteer to go through. Most of them went through
Amazing.
10 or 12 or 15 nominations. So we've got lots of feedback for all of our award winners too. But the amazing thing I did see was almost 76% of companies were in that kind of AI, agentic machine learning space because there's so much investment going on in there right now. So that was, I guess, not surprising, but I didn't think the number would be that high. But I guess everybody is an AI company now. But you know,
Well, certainly leveraging AI features and functionality and tools. And I guess you and I are AI companies, if you count it that way.
yeah,
And, I just love these awards. Recognition matters more than ever. I mean, you see big tech companies in the news, you get all the headlines, but technology isn't enough these days. It's about storytelling and getting the word out, getting the message out, and that's we're one small part of that with the awards programs.
the other thing I really loved is, a lot of times you'll see a new adoption into into industries that are kind of ripe for it and don't have a lot of regulation. Almost most of the winners, I think, this year, most of the nominations came in very highly regulated industries. So these guys understand the importance of AI, and it's just, to me, it's amazing that they're doing all of this without the public LLMs, or they're governing off the data in such a way that it's not getting into public view. And being able to roll out these services in those very regulated environments, healthcare, financial services, government, energy, these are the ones that you don't want hackers in. You don't want AI, fluff or attacks in there. It is like you talking about earlier, cybersecurity has never been more important, whether it's personal or in the enterprise. So,
Yeah, and
congratulations to everybody.
they're regulated. We often talk about regulation being bad. Oftentimes, it can be burdensome for small businesses, but these are regulated for a good reason. Healthcare IT, security in a hospital environment, energy, utilities, life sciences, drug discovery, drug development. I mean, financial services, your bank, whoever's holding your money. There are very good reasons to regulate these industries, but it does slow them down. So the fact they can innovate at this level is really exciting and rewarding at the same time.
Yeah, it's a great mix of companies from all over the globe this year. We really applaud every one of you. It was a tremendous, tremendous showing from the enterprise community, and we're just so happy to be able to do this platform and have so much recognition go out to these companies who are very, very well deserving.
And thanks again to the judges, all volunteers, all experts in their own right. I don't know many of you, virtually any of you, to be frank, but I see your profiles and the work performed. I was a judge at the CES Innovation Awards earlier this year. It takes hours and hours of work for no pay, just the a reward of exploring new technologies and being recognized as a judge. And I see the work that goes there, and it's all inspiring.
Well, congratulations again to all the award winners, and Evan, thank you for hosting this and giving us all your expertise. It's really it's so much fun doing this one with you and seeing all these incredible innovations. The awards are out on the website, so if you haven't checked it out, go hit the website and check out all the awards winners and the finalists.